arms are wrapped around a slightly perfect green floral chair. Standing on the corner of Halsted and North, waiting for the number 8 CTA bus. 8 years earlier, I owned a 2-acre estate on land near the Long Island Sound in Connecticut. I was the executive that gave the world Ann Taylor Law. Profiled in the Wall Street Journal, 6-figure salary, stock options and bonuses. Original Paul Klee hanging in the great room of the main house. And a driver to bring me home at night from New York City. A marriage stopped. All things divided, downsized. New job, a return to my hometown of Pleasantville in Indiana. A stray question from my sage sister Sue. What have you always wanted to do? Out of the recesses of my mind, I blurt out, the Peace Corps. I wanted to snatch it back as soon as the words left my lips. Now I would have to act on it. Kenya, 2005. All that I possessed was in 2 small suitcases full of the essentials. Only luxury item, a hairdryer. Most important item, the book where there is no doctor, telling you what to do when the bugs and worms start to crawl out from underneath your skin. 5 months in, 5 a.m. in the morning, woken by the rising rhythmic voices of the Muslim call to prayer and the cock-a-doodle-doing of the roosters proclaiming the sunrise. I'm lying underneath the mosquito net on top of a 2-inch foam pad, watching a parade of African ants making their way from my windowsill, across the concrete slab, and up the leg of my cot to feast on the toxic, powdered substance that was supposed to keep the bedbugs at bay. I put on my headlamp to fill up the darkness and finish reading the novel, A Yellow Raft in Blue Water. I read the last paragraph. As a man with cut hair, he did not identify the rhythm of 3 strands. The whispers of coming and going, of twisting and tying and blending, of catching and letting go, of braiding. As I closed the book, I realized I had been stunned into numbness. I feel a flood of tears rolling down my cheeks. It is then I realized, in giving up everything, I was now free to accept the catchings and the letting go. I had spent my life accumulating, owning, possessing things, money, titles, and yes, even people. And now was the time to let it all go. A new normal. The less I owned and possessed, the bigger my life could be. Time to collect and catch the small encounters that connect us, one to the other. For the next 2 years, Kenya and its people gave me a lifetime of forever moments. The daily take my breath away moment when I swung open my door to my view. From my plateau of Lake Navasha, Mount Longana, and the expanse of the Rift Valley. Meeting 2 cool little boy Joseph and the little rose of Wongong Road. Having a baby boy named after my son Courtney, and a baby girl named after me, Hannibal. The daily sightings of striped donkeys, the the nightly sounds of the hyenas in the hills, and the matatu rides. The public transit vans meant to carry a maximum of 14 passengers, but always stuffed with up to 32 men, women, children, and assorted animals, smiling, laughing, singing, praying, yelling, dancing. And when stuck in the mud, we would all exit and help push it back onto dry ground. Back in the States, October 2011. Determined to continue my journey, that the less I owned and possessed, the bigger my life. Moved into a teeny tiny nest overlooking my Montrose Harbor here in Chicago. Only set of wheels, a yellow cruiser. Made a resolution to not buy anything new from 11/11/11 until 12/12/12. Except, of course, food, undies, and personal care items. But a week later, I received a $50 gift certificate from a home furnishing store. I called their 800 number to convince them on the phone to let me apply the dollars to my existing bill. I hear exasperation in her voice. A need to not go over the allocated time per customer. I am sure she had tagged me as some kind of crackpot as I explained why I could not buy anything new. I told her, never mind. So I decided to go into the belly of the beast and explain my dilemma face to face. As I wandered the busy store, a salesperson finally asked if they could help me. I told her, and you could see her eyes roll back into her head. She exhaled and said she would need to get the manager. When I explained to this very big, blonde, scary woman, there was a moment of silence. And then her head went back, and she laughed out loud and said, I should not encourage your behavior of not buying anything new, but this is too sweet a situation. Let's have some fun. Follow me. And off we went into the stockroom. She took me to a small, dark corner and let me know that in this pile of stuff were items that were bought and returned and that could not be put back into stock because there was something wrong with them. She asked if I found an item or items that I was interested in, would applying the certificate to them still work with my resolution? Or if I wanted, she could apply the certificate to my existing bill. I looked at this sorry bunch of stuff and said, well, let me at least look. At first view, there wasn't anything that caught my eye. But peeking underneath a bedspread was a hint of green. As I lifted the spread, a floral green chair seemed to say, ta-da! I am ready to go home with you, just like a stray dog. But my heart dropped. It would not work with the colors of my decor. I guess my years in fashion retailing still had some weight. I told the manager it would probably be best to just take the credit. As we were leaving, I turned one more time, and it was beckoning me. Please, please, take me home. I said, I'll take her. Now I needed to get her home. So this is how I got here on this corner of Halsted and North, hugging a nearly perfect green floral chair, waiting for the number 8 bus. As I waited for the bus, all the other waiters kept eyeing me. One lady said, nice find. The bus came and I climbed on with my chair, and the whole bus became involved. A man piped up, now that is one way of guaranteeing a seat on the CTA. BYOC, bring your own chair. BYOC. People laughed. Someone else said, no, she must have just found out she didn't have enough seats for Thanksgiving. A hippie aunt from California must have decided to come at the last minute. After the canned CTA announcement said, please give up your seat to the elderly, pregnant, or disabled, someone else said, yes, yes, the lady with the green chair. Please give me your seat. I'm style disabled. The bus had become a comedy improv on wheels, pure contagious joy, reminding me of my Kenya Matatu rides. Once off the bus, I only had a few blocks to walk, but people smiled as I walked by, hugging my green chair. And as I walked into my building, a young lady stopped and said, "That's one sweet chair." One slightly perfect green floral chair really is a little off-kilter in the rest of my decor, but this is where she belongs. When I see her, I will always remember the amusing journey we took together.